How is the year 2025 looking for you? If you're someone like me, you're probably this type of person who wants to set a lot of different goals that you did not achieve in 2024. However, this year, I'm actually going to take a different approach to achieving these goals for my New Year's resolutions. Here are the 4 steps of what I'm going to do in order to achieve my goals for 2025. The first idea that I'm going to do here in regards to setting up my goals is to start small. I tend to come up with a lot of different goals that I want to work on for my life all at the same time. And because of that, I find it much harder to stick through these goals throughout the year and be consistent with them. However, instead of actually doing the same mistakes that I normally tend to do a lot of times when I'm setting goals, is that I actually got help from a different perspective on how to see this differently from a mentor, which I will explain more later. It helped me realize that it's okay to not actually do everything all at once, and it's okay to start small, as there's no race to actually finishing these goals all fast and at the same time. From personal experience, I tend to be overly perfectionist when it comes to trying to do goals for myself or just anything in my life. And honestly, a lot of times it actually comes to the point where it's not really reality of the goals that I can really achieve, and because of that perfection mindset, that gets in the way. Whenever I fail on these goals that I've tried to go for time after time, and even if it's just the smallest goals that I do too, I can't help but to feel really disappointed in myself whenever I don't achieve them. Whenever I would watch these self-improvement videos all over YouTube and whatnot, and even Instagram too, it makes me think, well, yeah, I could totally do the same thing that they're doing too. Especially within the last 5 years of actually being in my 20s, I realized that there's no such thing as needing to be really too hard on yourself. And because of that, I would actually set up a lot of different goals to the point that is no one really telling me to make this really hard on myself, but it would be myself that's actually doing that and making it much more difficult and really nearly impossible to get those goals. And honestly, even though it's something that it's really hard for me to work on, like a mindset perspective wise, and switching that to be something different, I really hope by starting small and learning how to really work on those tiny little steps a lot more, that actually I can feel more accomplished and feel really good about myself with these goals that I do actually stick to and go for long periods of time. The second idea that I would like to share in regards to how to stick to your New Year's resolutions is to actually take a look at what is your main priorities you want to do. Instead of taking a look at all the different things that you actually need to do and that you feel like you need to do all right now and right away, stop and ask yourself these kind of questions. What is the first thing that comes to mind when I think about goals in general? By asking yourself these kind of self-reflection questions, it'll help you not only get a clear-headed focus on what it is you need to be doing right in this moment, but it even helps setting that step-by-step chances of how to achieve those goals by a step at a time. And honestly, it's okay to have only one focus on one goal to work on. And this is actually really hard for me to say too a lot of times, but hopefully this helps you too, as much as it's me talking to myself here when I'm saying this here. But you don't necessarily have to be perfect and work on a lot of goals all at the same time, especially if it's something that you're really struggling to even stick to goals in long periods of time. But it really would help to just only look at what you want to do, and it's okay to not do all your goals, especially right now in this current moment. And again, an example that I'm trying to do for my own personal life is just having this perspective change here. And instead of really being this type of person who is the most productive and most time management, I guess you might call it, for my life, it really helps to just kind of bring this more openness for myself and really for you guys too, especially if anyone else relates to doing so many goals, or you don't know where to start, or you want to do everything all at the same time. And really, it's okay to not go as far and so ambitious, because it really does take time to grow these goals step by step. At least I'm going to see myself in the future by December of 2025 how proud I am of these goals. Even if it just means I'm working on one goal, at least I made progress towards something rather than nothing at all throughout the year. The third tip that I would like to share in regards to how to stick to your New Year's resolutions for 2025 is to be able to set realistic goals for those ways in order to achieve them. Something that I really want to highlight is actually this goal settings that I remember learning way back when I first took my first semester in college was called the SMART goal system. The way it is that basically it spells out the following of SMART for the following words that are going to basically mean something regarding to them that sticks to the goals and how to set them up smart in a way. So S stands for specific, M stands for measurement, A stands for achievable, R is relevant, and then T stands for time bound. Basically what all of this does is that it actually helps you set up a way in order to do your goals step by step, so that you actually are going to have less chances of even failing those goals the more specific you are. By doing it this way, you're going to know every step of the way, which is Kind of funny that I didn't realize I was going to add up like that. But you're going to know every step of the way in regards to how to do those goals, and you're going to be more successful breaking it down and being more specific that way than not having a plan at all. For example, I'm actually going to use this SMART system in regards to making this YouTube video and trying to bring this YouTube channel back to life. For S standing for specific, I'm going to be specific enough to post videos on here 2 times a month. For M, basically what I'm going to have is that every 2 weeks I'm going to post a new video on this YouTube channel. For A, on achieving, I'm going to achieve this by actually having one day where I'm going to take time to script, another day to record the video, and then another day to edit it. Instead of doing all of this at once, I'm breaking down each day where I'm actually going to make sure I'm doing something that's small and achievable each and every single day, so it's not like I'm making a YouTube video all at once and overwhelming myself, if that makes sense. For R, relevance, what basically is for this example is that I'm going to make these videos regarding self-improvement, growth, and anything that basically helps you as a person. And lastly, time bound here is where I'm going to only allow myself 2 weeks to make a video from beginning to end and be able to make sure I'm keeping that up for every 2 weeks too, unless something of course happens or if I'm out of town. And honestly, as long as you break it down, any kind of goal that you're doing, even if it's a SMART system or something else, helps to have some sort of break down small pieces in order to build something bigger. Last but not least, my 4th and final idea in regards to how you can stick to your New Year's resolutions this year is to make each month a challenge. Instead of making a whole New Year's resolution in regards to an entire year you're trying to stick to your goals, break it down by each month, because thankfully you're blessed to have months, weeks, days to be able to do goals at any time. It doesn't always have to be a New Year's Day. Honestly, I don't know about you, but for myself, I can't even remember what goals I set for the beginning of 2024. And so with that, it makes all the more sense to really break down each month as a challenge instead of just doing everything all in one year and then forget about it or life happens to you. You're gonna actually allow yourself time for maintenance and like readjustments in regards to your goals, because what you set in the beginning of the year doesn't mean it's gonna necessarily be the same for the end of the year. I mean, even for myself, I can tell the beginning of 2024 with where I was versus where I am in the beginning of 2025. Totally huge difference between where I was mentally with my work environments and just like everything else really. And because you have all these different goals set in line of the months, you're going to be able to focus on one thing at a time instead of actually doing all of the goals at the same time for an entire year. And this, when really actually thinking about it in a deeper perspective, honestly gave me like a huge realization thanks to my mentor Ahmet, that actually really helped open up my eyes in regards to seeing it this way, because it's not really possible to really stick to all your goals, especially so perfect and everything else an entire year. There's no finish line for what happens if you finish making a YouTube video or 200 videos as your goal as an example for YouTube, when it's better to enjoy the process than to rush through something to find out it's like, okay, now what? So in other words, instead of doing all of my goals, as crazy as it is, in the beginning of the year and hoping that to be my entire year in a nutshell, it's better to honestly break it down by months by saying by month 1, I'm going to do this. Month 2, I'm going to work on this. Month 3, I'm going to work on this, and so on and so forth. And again, not only will this take off pressure, even for someone like me who struggles to have like a lot of goals that I want to work on and things like that, but it really does help to see things in a short-term periods of time than to see things in a long term that really is nearly impossible and unrealistic. And it's a different perspective for me, and I hope it helps for you. That makes all the difference. And overall, it's okay for life to take different turns. And as long as you, and even myself included, as we start off with the year of 2025, I really hope this helps the both of us really to be able to work on these goals in a smart way and like the SMART goals way, and any other tips that I've shared from the 4 above, then to do the same thing every single year of the same mistakes, to not have anything really achievable for something you want to work on in your life. I hope this helps achieve your goals, as I hope it would help mine, and that I hope you're able to take it one step at a time too. If you guys enjoyed seeing this video, giving a like, comment, and subscribe would be definitely appreciated, and just know that at the end of the day, I'm definitely rooting for you, and I hope all the best for you and for myself too. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.